Hey everyone, welcome to this very special invite-only webinar, mastermind, whatever you want to call it. This is an exclusive invite from Infopreneur Agency and the new Gig Economy Chamber of Commerce, Mike Hayes. We are inviting you to be a part of our new money radio show. It's going to be amazing. It might even be turned into a TV show. The way it works, we're going to get into is what we're going to do is we're going to have about 3 to 4 weeks of coaching, media coaching, helping you get your pitch out of you and get you to be able to share whatever you're doing with the world and get it onto over 75 stations, U.S. national AM FM radio stations like ABC, CNN, CBS, NBC, Fox. And so a lot of others, right? And potentially hundreds, potentially over 100, but definitely over 75. So by doing that, you get to use the bragging rights, and we're going to show you how to use those bragging rights to get on, more stages and get booked on more interviews, more stations, and just get more clients and more business. So it's going to be a win-win for everyone. So I'm going to just, before we actually get into the details, I do want to just explain, let you know who Mike Hayes is, so you know who you're talking with and how this whole thing came about. Some of you who were on here before the recording started, you guys know a little bit more about Mike Hayes. For those of you who are just meeting him, something you might not know about him is he has also, he has a background in media and producing documents and editing film and all that. He's also been a speaking head for a sportscast, if you want to call that, a sportscaster for some kind of sports radio show. And anyway, the cool thing that I really love about this and why this is awesome is because not only does he have a whole bunch of connections in the media world, but he has his other part of his business was helping inventors pitch their products on infomercial TV. So there was I think he helped over 1,000 inventors pitch their product and get it to make lots and lots of money, lots of sales. I asked them, I got to share the story real quick. Right? I asked them, what was the biggest success story you've ever had, and he said, "Oh, that was easy. The restorer, renewer. I don't remember what the actual product name is. Mike, do you remember what the product is called?"
Restore 4.
Oh, okay, Restore Floor, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you guys got to check this out. So, there's this inventor who spent $50,000 of his own money on promoting this product that was a cleaner. It was like a bath cleaner, and he made 0 sales. Okay, 0 sales. So he just spent $50,000 of his own money, made nothing back.
Twice.
Yeah, and then he came back because he believed in it so much that he tried it again, and he still got 0 sales. All right, imagine that, 100,000 in the hole, your own money. That's your retirement money. You're never going to get it back. Then he came to Mike and he asked Mike, so what can we do? How can we fix this? And Mike just said, this is not a cleaner. Women, they can just go to the store and purchase this cleaner, the same cleaner for $5. Why would they spend $20 for yours? And he said, we can't call it a cleaner. It's no longer a cleaner. This is a restorer. So the pitch became basically, hey, ladies, wouldn't you like a brand new bathtub, but you can't spend thousands of dollars to restore it? Well, now you can with this, magic spray. And anyway, so it changed completely just by changing the name. And with from that point, this inventor went on to making $200 million in sales, from negative 100,000 to 200 million. So anyway, that's the power of Mike Hayes. That's what we're going to be, you're going to be getting from this program. And it's perfect for this radio show. So you'll understand what the radio show is going to be about as we explain it. So, okay, now that you know a little bit more about Mike, and hopefully you know a little bit about me, because I'm the one who put this together, this group here. Infopreneur Agency is my company. we help infopreneurs create their dream business by and become leaders in their industry, by connecting people with people like Mike and resources that will help them, just become super high authority leaders in their industry. So anyway, this is one of our projects, this radio show. And I mentioned it's all, as you've seen, heard before the recording, this is about the new economy. This is about how now the world is completely changed. Entrepreneurs, infopreneurs, everyone have to adapt to the future and the new economy, the new world. So people are doing that. Like there's a shared economy like Airbnb and Uber and all those others, sharing their cars and all that stuff. And there's all kinds of examples, right? So everyone's doing different things to adapt to the new world. Internet marketing, that's it's fairly new. And then there's apps, and there's there's all kinds of things people are doing, creative ways to make money to grow your business in this world. So that's what this whole radio show, as I understand it, that's my angle. Mike has his own way of sharing it, and the whole point is, again, we're actually planning to charge for this. We're going to charge probably around, realistically, probably between like 2,000 to potentially 8,000, because we've seen someone else charging $8,000 for something not even close to what we're doing. They're just charging you to $8,000 to get on the air, and there's no coaching involved. So it's anyway. We're definitely going to make this a really high ticket thing. And we do actually pay for this. It costs money for us to run this. So it's not, we can't just give it away, obviously. All right. Now keep that in mind. What we're doing here, this purpose of this call is to choose, or help us choose, which would be the first 5 people, the 5 contestants. And just a full disclaimer, it's not going to be us choosing it. We have an editorial board who, they will look through every little applicant very, in very detail to decide, who are going to be these first 5 people that we get in the coaching program and on the show. So, and then, yeah, that's basically it. I'll just leave it there. I want to get some show of hands. I want to see if you guys are understanding, if you guys are following what I've shared so far. Is this making sense? Raise your hand, please, just so I know. Okay, cool. All right, well, that's basically it. I think that's all all the points that I wanted to share. So, Mike, do you have anything you want to say?
That we're actually producing multimedia versions of this. And so there's radio and television. And so what we want to do is coach people, because looking at webinars, as I've looked at hundreds of them, there's such a small difference between presenters who have good lighting, a nice background, an inexpensive microphone, some really simple things that can really elevate them and their position as an authority or a leader dramatically. Now, I'm just all about being inclusive. So if somebody wants to be only on radio and they can speak very well, but they really don't want to do the extra few steps to be on the television, that's fine with me. I don't care. Because to me, the most important thing is really simple. It comes down to one thing. Do you know what you're talking about? If you do, there's value, to everybody. That's what people care about, not really anything else, but are they listening to somebody who knows what they're talking about? And so I've seen that so many examples over the years that, and by the way, I produced one of Tony Robbins' very first TV commercials way back in the day. So I've been at this a long time. And, so what we really want to do, though, I believe that, Omar and I will be able to help people raise the level of their game if they're an author, expert, or whatever, so that some people will end up on television, on, not only on the television programming that Omar and I are putting together, but, as independents on CNBC, MSNBC, or their local media, or could really become a talking head. The reason I believe this so strongly is this. Just to use this as an example, here in America, our government just passed a big tax bill. This is going to go into effect this year. And so it's going to affect everyone's taxes, and their tax preparer had better know all about this new tax bill. Or if they're not, they're really incompetent and unethical and really not serving their client very well. Well, I got to tell you, that is exactly how I feel about this new economy. It is so dramatic in every aspect of our lives that anybody who is an expert, a coach, a consultant, a small business expert, whatever, who doesn't understand this big transition to the new economy is really not being ethical and competent in serving their clients. Because I put together a documentary. I'm redoing it into a new format, but the information is there. And all this documentary information comes from Forbes, Fortune, Wall Street Journal, Entrepreneur Magazine, Harvard Business Review, even the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States says we have to redo our whole financial infrastructure for entrepreneurs because of this new economy. It is coming like a tsunami. And so what we want to do is have people that talk about what they do, but also talk about what they do within this new way of making money within this new economy. So that's how we're going to really help serve the public and our fellows and other entrepreneurs and everybody. So our coaching is going to be to help people really present, their presentation verbally, and their presentation in the webinar, their presentation on television, or the step between television and a webinar, so that because part of it is learning how to sit up and listen while other people are talking, you know what I mean, and have a really cheap, you can buy a nice photo backdrop for like $12 on Amazon, and nice lighting for $50. But there's some really cheap, inexpensive ways to really take the game up from audio to really television quality video. And that's really what Omar and I are, that's kind of our ideal. But if somebody doesn't want to do that, fine. They just want to concentrate on maybe what they're good at. Maybe it's just audio or radio. So like I say, we want to find a way to include as many people as we can.
Awesome. Right on. And what one thing that Mike mentioned, you guys, that I forgot to mention is we are coaching you on, like, our goal is really to get you to, this radio show is one thing, it's one level, but the real big vision is to get you on all those big, huge networks, everywhere, and get you on more stages and all that. So we're coaching you on, it's going to be run like a show, you guys. It's going to be like Mike is going to be directing. He's going to, when we say quiet on the set, we all mute ourselves, and your lighting, the way your posture, all that, your mic, that's also really important. The way you present yourself. I'm not really a good example right now, but I understand that. But anyway, thanks for bearing with me with that. But anyway, so let me see. This is like super gold, you guys. This is going to change your life, like your entire career. We're thinking real long term. A year from now, you won't recognize yourself. It's going to be a completely different person, getting all kinds of gigs and like speaking gigs and interviews, all this good stuff. It's going to blow you up, So in a good way, right? Oh yeah, well, there was one more thing I remember now. Okay, there was one more thing I also wanted to say was, we are promoting your products. Like that's the
Right.
real purpose of the show is we're promoting you and your products, your service, your affiliate program, whatever it is. We want to get you exposure, and we might even have some kind of affiliate arrangement. We might make some kind of special bonus if somebody goes through us through the show. They go to a special link, and on that link they get your product and our products mixed up, or they get some kind of special arrangement that we make together. So I also want to make sure you guys knew that. And if there's like some kind of affiliate program you have, we can arrange that. If you're open to that. So if you do, that's a plus. That's definitely that's awesome. It makes it even more of a win for us. Because like I said, again, we're spending money, we're actually investing money in this. So it costs money to run the show, So the more we can get in return, the better. And also, we would like for you to promote the show as well. So, I mean, this is kind of a given. You do want to do this anyway. So, you saying, hey, I'm going to be on, this radio station. It's the New Money Radio show. It's amazing. Check it out and just share the link. It's takes a minute, and it's going to help you, of course, help you get exposure, get you and that branding, authority status. So anyway, that's what I wanted to mention as well before I forgot. And I think we're good to unmute everyone and open up for questions. So actually, one more thing, in case one of your questions is how are we going to move on to the next step. I will have some questions for you guys. It's like a little survey or application, whatever you want to call it, to get more information about what you do and your business, and some other questions to help us see, who's a good candidate. So I'm going to unmute everyone.
Who is the target audience going to be? Is it going to be other entrepreneurs? Is it small business entrepreneurs? Who is the target audience here?
The listeners, you mean, of the radio show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mike, do you want to answer that?
Sure. That is believe it or not, that's actually a secondary consideration. I'll explain why. And it may be to you at the moment a primary consideration. I respect that. But it is a matter of steps. So what we want to do is, first of all, is to raise people to the level of being a recognized leader and authority because of this show. So just like being a published author takes you to another step in your positioning and how you are received by your ideal target audience. So because, for example, if and this is a really kind of story just to make it clear to you. Let's say I appeared on the Today Show this morning, but you missed it, okay? You didn't see it. But it doesn't matter, because if I take that video and use that in my marketing for the rest of my life, I am from then on always the go-to guy on the Today Show. So that becomes really, really important. And when you've all seen the association of proof of concept and social proof with, as featured on NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, etc. That's part of becoming a recognized leader. That's how you get your foot in the door for getting people to hear you and want you to speak, or want you to show up here or there or whatever, or get your book published or whatever it is. So that's the first thing that we want to do. Is we want to help you look, act, sound, and be perceived as a thought leader and a top authority immediately, so that no matter what the audience of the show is, and I'll get into that, that you're going to be able to have a huge benefit in your social media, in your outreach, Facebook, etc. Now, as far as the show goes, if you go to now, again, part of what I am trying to do is I want to help both men and women. I happen to believe that 2018 is going to be the year of the woman, of women. And what I used to do is, with all of my inventors, I would always say to them, look, if you don't talk to the women in your life about your invention, you're crazy. Because they're 70% of buyers, okay? And their input is vital to your success. Likewise, I want women to understand as they kind of gain prominence that has been long overdue to them. Please don't forget that men are a big part of your market, and please, don't cloister up with just women, but be open to men and broaden your market. So one thing that we do want to do is, and partly this is just out of convenience, that we are starting with sports programming, because that is part of my background. I helped start sportsbyline.com, and I'll explain how to review that. But if you write down sportsbyline.com, Byline is BYLINE.com. If you click on affiliates, there'll be a list of 175 AM, FM radio station affiliates there. And I have statistics that 40% of National Football League fans are women. And, a huge number of National Basketball Association fans are women. So, it may not seem like the perfect spot to be, but we look at it as the perfect spot to start. There's 5,000 radio stations in the country, so we have no limit to how far we can expand if the show is good. And everything is going to carry on the quality of the programming, the quality of the show, the expansion from here to television, etc. So the audience is really going to be made up of the target audience that you want, ultimately, based upon you reaching out as an expert on national radio and ideally on television of who you are, so that a lot more receptivity to you is going to be a key. Now, we also have expertise in marketing on Meetup and LinkedIn, and there's one of the things that we're coaching and teaching is all the different ways to reach out with your message, all the different avenues that you can target, so that really for making sales, your ideal target is whoever is perfect for you, so that you can reach out through email marketing. And by the way, email marketing is the foundation of this new economy. That's the 0 point, the landing point, the bedrock of the new economy is email marketing. But we want to help you to go out as the instant authority, the recognized leader in your community. So does that answer your question, or do you have more questions about the audience? There are 5 million weekly listeners to all the programming on the network, including Armed Forces Radio worldwide.
Okay.
So I want to say that in a different way. What we're going to do is we're going to coach you on how to be a broadcaster, not a narrowcaster.
No, I understand. I understand that part. Yeah, but awesome. we were talking about, you even mentioned, sports being one of the first ones you were going to introduce, and trying to understand what they're looking for when they're tuning in.
The point is, on radio, people are people. It's not like they're in a marketing meeting or in a health meeting, they're not there for to learn a certain thing. It's just it's general. It's everyone. It's appealing to everyone. If that makes sense. Money. So that's really the goal, is to train you on how to do that, so that you involve everyone listening, and that's what these broadcasters want to see, that you're able to do that, and you can. That's how you get on the Today Show and on the these big shows.
Okay.
Right, Eileen? She was on the Today Show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's a superstar. So let me see. So let me just unmute everyone. There was some weird background noise going on, so I muted people. But does anyone other questions, you guys? Go ahead, Isabel. Isabel.
Hi. Yes. Isabel's fine. All right. So this is not a podcast you're launching. It's a radio show.
Yeah, and we're probably going to have a podcast. Actually, 100%. We are going to have a podcast as well.
Okay.
Everything multimedia.
Yeah, so that's part of the thing we're doing. It's the radio is one thing, and we're going to actually professionally edit it and produce it and all that. It takes a lot of like professional editing for that, and then podcasting, and then Facebook lives and webinars, Roku TV. Getting on TV.
Okay,
everywhere.
so hold on a sec. At the beginning, Mike, you were talking about radio syndication. I'm not sure I understand how the syndication comes into play here.
Okay. Okay, there's a lot of different ways to distribute information. So let's go back to NBC and working at 30 Rockefeller Plaza, NBC in New York. They are a network, and they actually don't broadcast, believe it or not. They actually feed the programs out via a what used to be phone lines to their affiliate stations, and then those affiliate stations actually broadcast out to the public. So NBC is a form of content syndication to the various stations that carry the program directly to the public. Now there are the big networks, and when I worked for, when I was at NBC, it was basically NBC, ABC, CBS. Mm-hmm. And then when CNN came along, I went, wow, what's this new upstart network? And so I went over to CNN, and they began to syndicate programming, and then cable TV came along. And so there's a lot of ways to syndicate programs. People don't watch TV, they watch programs. And so the more professional and interesting the program is, the more syndication you're going to get, because you're going to get picked up by that many more stations. But that's what a syndicator does, is he just distributes it out to the stations, and then they take it and they broadcast. And that's
okay.
That's what sports.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know if everybody's familiar with syndication. I was actually familiar with the term. What I was trying to understand is you already have syndication agreements so that your radio show is going to go out to affiliates.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had a show on Sports Byline for years and years, but now we're doing a new show because of the new economy called New Money, and this is going to be, I've been doing features, but most of the programming that runs are hour-long shows, which are made up of a pie chart of 42 minutes in different sections. And we're doing an hour show, we're 42 minutes of programming. And then through the week that the show actually airs, they are going to be running a series of promotions for the show. So we're going to be reaching out to the whole 5 million audience during the week, saying, tune in to learn how to make new money in this new economy.
So that's the key umbrella content that you're looking for, is people sharing about how to make money in the new economy. Am I correct?
Yeah. So what we want to do is listen to you talking about what you do, and then we fill in the gaps for the public about how that fits into the new economy. So we're kind of, most of the education is on us, because I've been researching this for 5 years. So I'm really I've been a thought leader in 2 other industries, and now I really want to be a thought leader in this new economy. So we're going to talk about, okay, this is what Dan is doing, and why she did that, because this is the new way of working, and she helps people to understand the new economy and how to fit into it, or whatever it is. Or if you're if you're traumatized because you got laid off and you need somebody to help your mindset, we've got coaches to help you to adjust your mindset, to adjust to the new economy and overcome your uncertainty, or whatever it is.
Right. Can I ask one question here? When you were, when you talked about the new money, the economy of new money, or the new money in this economy and everything, that kind of brought everything, around to me, as far as helped me understand what you're doing here. I was kind of confused a little bit before. Before I go on, I'm going to have to leave in about 15 minutes. I got a meeting that I have to go to, but what you're saying, for instance, with me, part of what I do, my impact that I'm making right now is I'm filling this small gap, large gap that the federal government has overlooked, which is small businesses that are under 500,000, okay, and helping them. So what I'm doing is I'm educating them. That's where you're saying that coming in and educating them how they can find the money to help them grow their businesses, launch their businesses, and then go for capital funding on the back end. That's what you're talking about. This is the type of environment that you're looking for.
Yes, and even smaller than that, actually how to bootstrap from
exactly.
Zero. The two industries in which I was a recognized thought leader was first the direct response industry, the TV and radio, and that's from Direct Response TV and DM News. And then secondly was the crowdfunding industry, and that's by Crowdfund Beat. I was one of the top 100 experts and professionals in crowdfunding. So these are all part of new money, the way new money flows and bootstrapping. And I'm all about I had as many as 28 employees in that first floor of a high-rise building, and I hated it. I was all about dealing with, human resources and driving me crazy.
Right.
So I like being on the front line and how to start up lean and small as possible. That's why we love meetups in libraries and
that's exactly it. But when you were talking about crowdfunding, now, for instance, the 31st of March, we are hosting a live event that's going to bring, the crowdfunding, the new crowdfunding law that's recently been passed. Mark Jones with Sprout will be coming in and speaking from the stage, talking about the new crowdfunding law and how they can take advantage of it.
Well, for example, the ultimate of bootstrapping is learning how to sell a boot camp before you actually even create it, with an online course, etc., so that you're creating it sequentially, week by week, for the people who have paid up front and using their feedback and how to get started. So I'm all about, even at the pedestrian level, walking down the street, you don't have a job, how do you start from there and go all the way to, sky's the limit?
How do you fund a business when you have bad credit? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we bring to the table. And that's what I'm asking is if those are the kind of things that you want to be presenting on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And to answer, honestly,
my attitude is kind of like Abe Lincoln, he'd walk 20 miles because he wanted to go to school.
Right.
And that if you're willing to do what it takes, in America, we're going to be the guys that are there to help you to do it. If you've got the we got the know-how.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you guys, Dana, that was actually a really great comment, because you're thinking media already. You're thinking, how is this appealing to in the news? How's this, how can this be in the media? And it doesn't matter for anyone. Actually, I just want to point this out. It doesn't matter what you do, what you offer, your topic, anything. It doesn't matter. We are going to make it work for the show, because everything is around this new economy and the new money, the new world. So we can always bring it to that point. We're going to help you. We're going to help you, do that.
Okay.
And I just wanted to point that out. And again, the whole point of this is to promote you. So literally, you can sell, you can have a donut shop. You can sell corn. I don't know if you guys have this in your area, but Elote Man, the guy who sells corn. I don't know about that. But anyway, you can do anything. Doesn't matter. We're gonna, we can help. We can get you on the show. We can, adapt it to the message.
Okay.
And right on. So before we get into any more questions, I know it is getting close to the end of the hour, but real quick, I just want to just point something out. So since you guys are here, I'm going to send you guys, keep an eye on your email and check your spam, check everything. I'm going to send an email out with a link to an that survey thing, the application form, so we get more information about you. Okay, so I want to make sure you guys know before we ended it.
Okay. You were talking about broadcasting and not narrowcasting. So what you're talking about is going away from our niche market and market our thing to actually everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that makes sense on radio because you don't have your target market there. It's everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And the whole trick to it is to get, how like to think of how does this apply to the general public, people who are not, like I know Dagmar, you help people build websites that convert. So, how about people that don't even care about websites or don't even care about, like anything with digital related or anything. How does it affect them? How does it affect their children? How does it affect their neighbors, their dogs, like everyone,
It's so interesting because I've put a lot of effort into it to get to a niche market because actually every business needs, at least a business needs a website, and you want a website that converts, and you need a marketing funnel and so on. And everybody taught me to narrow this down to get to my target niche.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, there is a place for that. It's really important to do that, when you have an audience in front of you, for example, and they are the target audience. You want to speak to them and speak in their language. Like on the radio or even on podcasts, there are people you can get on podcasts not related to your topic, some other, totally different topic. And as long as you know how to speak to everyone, you can always adapt your language to them,
I also think that the commonality is the big idea. And of course, everybody needs, a website to be able to, express their big idea.
Mm-hmm.
And,
right.
How to generate revenues with it. Because see, just quickly, in my background, physical products, my $350 billion direct response TV industry is evolving toward things like Omar does with info products, because there's no shipping and handling, there's no, returns, it's just a lot easier, to have, digital products that people can download globally. So that's really a big part of it, is just the idea. And that's pretty much across the board for all of us.
Whatever else.
The editing is all designed to do one thing: make you look great. And, through editing and teleprompters, I can take anybody up to the level.
You can get rid of all this?
Very good. Yeah, like mine here. How about this?
Cool. Scott, do you have anything you want to ask or share?
Yeah, I just wanted to look at the conceptualization that you have. It sounds profound and it's very deep. So I'm looking at, in your coaching aspect, will we be framing the discussion prior to shooting? So in other words, we'll almost be pre-scripted without being off the cuff?
No. As a documentary director, I was trained by the best in the business at NBC. We actually won 2 Peabody Awards for documentaries that we directed, but it was a team. It wasn't just me. And but you don't project what the story is. You go out and find the story, and then you whittle it down into the essence of the story. But it really comes down to, as I always tell people, I never do an interview with somebody unless I think it'll do them some good. So, the idea here is not any gotcha questions. We are totally supportive and, positioning and PR, but we want to help you to get it down to the essence of the best you we can possibly find. There's so much that can be done. I even like to speed up interviews by about 15%, just to make it a little more energetic, so they can think in their normal, thinking mode, but if they're sped up a little bit, it makes them look a little more, compelling and a little more focused. So lots of ways that we can help you to really look and sound at your best and capture. Then you're always at your best.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
After hearing this, does this sound good to you? Does this sound interesting? Do you actually want to go for it?
Yeah, I'm personally, I think it's a profound opportunity to shape a narrative in fields that I deal with that need this kind of soundbite media exposure, as well as being the direct marketing infrastructure. I think it's a great blend for the new economy. Yeah.
Right on. Awesome. Eileen, you have something? Go ahead.
So if I'm understanding right, it's not so much about what our business does. It's somewhat about what our business does, but more about how we're marketing the business.
That to me, that's a good question. Actually, Mike might have a better answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, that the new economy, we want to help people understand that the new economy is a marketplace. That's what it is. So that's why marketing is essential in this new economy. It's going to be the difference between the haves and the have-not yets. You know, it's going to be very competitive, and so, and the difference between an amateur marketer and a professional is that, you know, amateurs don't get paid for their efforts because they're not good enough. So we want to push people up to the professional competitive level so they can compete, you know, where the big money is. But we want them to understand this is a whole new playing field in small business, and companies are hiring out of the new economy. So it's really not only for gig seekers, but for job seekers. People in companies are shopping in a whole new way. This is going to be so profound. It's going to change the entire world. And we want you guys to become thought leaders and understand marketing and promoting yourself. And then we want to make it all mesh and fit in so that, yeah, it's about what you do, how you help other people who want to transition to the new economy, how you are marketing yourself, how they can too, what it is. We're going to explain this whole picture, but it's a big job because it's a whole economy, you know. So we got our work cut out for us, but I think we've got, you know, the way to do it.
It's exactly what we're doing. We're promoting what you're doing, but also opening up for people to hear the possibilities of what is possible in this new economy, like how you can, you know, how people are already doing it, you know, like how are people adapting to the world and marketing themselves and, you know, innovating new business models, all that. So that's what I at least in my opinion, what I'm trying to get out of the show.
Eileen is probably working at home today instead of going into a job. What we want to do is to use her as an example that this is what you can do, and she is available and she does like what she's doing, and, you know, all of those things. So you guys are all human interest stories. You're all your own book, if you know it or not, but we're going to find those stories inside of you, you know, that are interesting to people. They want to know. Maybe they tried being like you, Eileen, and they're struggling to get new clients and don't understand how, but they'd love to, or they want to start a part-time gig, you know, while they've got their permanent job right now. Like such a thing exists anymore.
Right. So,
well, I would think that there would be, what it sounds like is you're creating an on-ramp for best practices and a successful courseware program for showing people how it is and can be done successfully.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
All right. Well said. Well, I'm excited about it. I think it's a stroke in the right direction. It is the new economy. There's a lot of things like robotics that are being interjected. And so I can see where people are going to have to find that new frontier for employment. And it's a stark contrast to the tools that got the 40-year watch. You don't go to the shop anymore. You are the shop, and your presence is your connection to your market. Right.
You're right. And you know, loneliness is becoming a pandemic in this new economy because people are working alone. So we really want to deal with all the human issues. I was just interviewed on TV about healthcare, about how the millennials should be out there, marching with us for healthcare, not just baby boomers, So, we're going to cover all. That's why we're called the New Economy Chamber of Commerce. We want to cover all the various parts of this new economy as human beings.
Right on.
Is that the title of the show, the New Economy Chamber of Commerce?
That is my company that is launching the new money. So
okay.
New Economy needs a new form of Chamber of Commerce. We're
right.
actually an on-ramp to join your local chamber, but we are teaching local chambers how to convert from analog networking to digital networking to expand what they're doing with their local chamber to the online world.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And to accelerate their growth as well.
Yeah.
The whole idea is, the old way is it takes time, it takes a lot of time to let's say schedule an appointment with someone, go to a meeting, do a little sales presentation to them, whatever else. Of course, there's that personal relationship, which is always a good thing. But by doing things digitally and the new economy, again, there's a place for the old way. I still do that with myself. I make appointments and all that. But having a webinar in front of thousands of people and then posting it, the recording on all these different video sites, doing SEO with them, all these different ways. It took 1 hour to do that webinar, and it's out there. Millions of people can see it. So it just saves so much time in getting you business. So the new economy is also about accelerating your business, like saving time. Getting a lot quicker results.
My mantra has become, and this is said with a sense of humor, new is the new. Everything is new, so we're going to reinvent a lot of stuff. So we're not going to use the old rule. We're going to reinvent stuff, recreate it.
Right on. So do you guys have any other questions or anything else you want to ask or share? Before we wrap it up.
One last thought that came to me is it sounds like this could be parsed into a New Economy Academy, where we could take certain segments of each show and make it almost a membership site where you learn specifics of each niche. So it would go back to a niche format, but allow them to be able to see the smorgasbord or the buffet.
Yes, and a lot of collaborations along those things. Nobody can do everything in the new economy. So this is also a collaboration net.
I like it.
Searching for collaborations. People, we're going to be inclusive and arms open and new ideas and, who can bring new things to the table and so that, we all benefit and help each other, really.
Okay.
I call us all friends in commerce. We're not friends on Facebook, but we can be friends in commerce. And that's kind of a line from the direct response industry, that we're friends, but we want to help each other make money and help other people make money.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I like it.
Definitely.
I'm stoked.
Right on. Cool. Any other final thoughts before we wrap it up? I think we shared pretty much everything we wanted to share today.
Sure.
Cool. Awesome. Well, again, keep an eye on your email, because that email is going to go out sometime. Actually, it might not be today, to be honest. It might be tomorrow. I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen. But it's probably not going to be today. That's all I can say. But keep an eye. We'll have a recording of this video, and I'll also have the link for the survey thing. And with that said,
hey, one more thing. Happy birthday, Omar.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you have birthday today. Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Let us know if there's anything you have any questions, anything you need from us. Just reach out to us, okay? All right.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Mike.